Hi and welcome to episode 8. I'm Lotte, I'm from Sweden, and today I will talk about knitting and some crochet also. Welcome back, you who have been here before, and welcome to you new followers. I'm grateful that you're taking your time to watch me. Really, I am. It's in December, the end of December, the end of the day. No, it's 3:30 p.m. and it's getting dark outside. Today I will talk about, as I said, knitting and crochet. The designer for this this episode is Rebekka Mauser, Patsy.55 on Instagram. I will talk about her in a while. Read her what she told us in an email. I asked if I could interview her, and I could, so I'm so grateful. I made like this. This is a cardigan I knitted for her. The first I knitted for her. It's called Pippi, but I will show photos when I talk what I have made for her. I asked, but I don't know if she got the email. Sometimes it bounces around. If I could show photos also from her design, but you can see them on Ravelry and on Instagram also. Actually, she is one of the designers in this new publication, 52 Weeks of Easy Knits. If I'm not totally wrong, she has the one on the front page. I'm not sure. I think. And talking about that book, I don't have it here anymore, but I can show photos. I've test knitted one of the patterns there for the Finnish designer Tina Huhtaniemi. She made this balaclava called marshmallow hat. I knitted this in May or June or something like that, I think. And the first one is for my daughter Amanda. But my older daughter Lovisa also wanted one, so I made one a week ago something. And she wanted like a longer one in the neck, and also that it could go up more on the chin. So I made short rows built up here, so it went up a little bit, so it was more fitted like this. I can show here on a balloon. I haven't seen it on her yet. So that was nice to knit. A very fast knit, very fast. You make it in a day or two. You do. I'm looking down what I have in my notes here. Yesterday evening I finished something for my son Hampus. He had, when he came, it's Wednesday now, he was here, my kids were here, some of them on Monday, we ate together, and he had an old pair I made for him. I don't even remember when I made them, and he has them all the time. I had to tell him, you don't eat with them, I hope. And he didn't. So I asked, do you want some new ones? But because I made him a pair of socks also in this, it's a dark green. I'm sorry for the light, as usual. I never get the right light. Also fast knit. It's in a Novita yarn. It's a Novita Wool Rescue. Nice. I'm happy he likes this kind of. For me, it's. I told once before, if I'm cold, it's the fingertips who are cold. So for me it shouldn't work, but I'm glad he is. Yes. What I made more, I talked I'm sorry, I had to go down. I showed you before that I should make, I had this long dress in alla Loop I made several years ago, and I made some more, so I haven't used this for a long time. And I wanted a long cardigan and haven't got the time, so I thought, why not stick it, cut it up? So I did. Can you see? And I made a ribbon, and I love it. Oh, it's lovely. It's so lovely. I tried part of, in some parts, to do you say needle felt? Sorry, I will show it here. I bought this at the best, but it's just one very, can you see it? Very pointy needle. And this is a very, it's so long, so it took some time. You can buy with several, so then it's, if you, I'm sorry, I can't find the words. What I'm meaning, when you cut it up, you can have something under. Let's say you will have this together like this, and you have a sponge or something softer under, and you do like this, and it felts together. But it was too much work to do the whole thing. I think I was all over, but to be more secure so that it ends, I was more worried where the parts where I have color work, because the floats can just open up. So I sewed a ribbon inside to be more secure. But with this wools, they hug together, so they are secured. I'm out of the picture, sorry. Last time I also talked that I test knitted. Sorry, I'm so thirsty today. Sorry. I test knitted for the Swedish, how do we call it? They are Finnish Swedish. She lives in Sweden, opposite, in Finland, but they talk Swedish. She's a designer called Lyckeliten, Victoria Snellman. I talked about her before, but she, it's too big to see, but it's called Lyckeliten Straight Pants, I think. Yeah. So it's knitted top down. This is in Novita 7 Brothers. Top down, and the legs are knitted straight. It almost looks, when you have them on, like it's in the 70s when I was young. They have these V jeans, but they are straight. I had a conversation over Instagram with a Swedish designer, because when I first read, and also in the pattern, she says that the biggest size is in centimeters is 110 in circle. How do you say, around? And I'm bigger than that. But Victoria said, try. I think you will manage it, and I really am, because you can see what the fabric makes, so I can be even bigger, but I won't. But this Swedish designer, I had started to talk about her. She was disappointed over that the biggest was so small. But I hope, I've shown her photos. I hope she can try, because in the around the butt was bigger than me, but I have a bigger stomach than her and I can have it. But it's I think one of the best knits ever. I got so much use from it this winter. It's lovely. Even though it's wide here, down here, I just have boots, or I can just put it inside the boots, or have a sock around if the cold goes up. I mean, from down and up. It's wonderful, and when you are really, really cold inside. Fantastic. That's what I finished. Oh, I have notes in my iPad here. I have crocheted some also. Oh, you can see here, it's hanging. It's just I made some of these hearts, many hearts, some years ago, and I come to think about it. It's kind of some years ago it was popular in gift shops, kind of, they were sewn and so on. So this Swedish designer called Bautawitch, I will link. Oh, she has the patterns also for free. She sells also yarns, but all her patterns are free, and she had also in English. So you make one, you don't crochet in the rounds, you make pieces and then you crochet them together. It's kind of fun. Then my daughter Amanda told me, eller it's Swedish, or I also have seen it myself, that it's so modern now with knitted or crocheted bags, kind of purses. So this is one that I made, that you can just have it like this. This is the easy. If you also been here before, I made. This is so many who are making these kinds now. When you make from leftovers and you make this baskets, kind of basket, in the round, and then when you stop increasing, you just crochet it as high as you want it. And for this I made then longer. I don't know what it's called. You make this longer anyway. And then this is in the one that with multicolored is the Swedish Järbo Raggi, and this green is in 4 strands in Novita 7 Brothers. I don't remember the crochet hook, the size 6, 8, 9 perhaps, I can't remember. I also made one in cotton. Amanda said these kinds are popular also. And I can't remember what pattern I made. I don't think I even made any notes. I made the bottom first and then build up this, and it should be a wider handle. Do you say so? Oh, if you can see it in the whole here. I lost words. I made one. I recorded in Swedish right before this. As usual, a little tired in my head. Amanda wanted one in brown also, but I have to rip this out because I made something wrong here in the beginning and end, so it started to grow instead. And I really don't know what pattern I made here either. I just make the things up, and then if I don't make notes, I think it's just what is that in in English. You make, I can't remember. If I remember, I can tell you next time or something. But it's fun with some crochet also now and then, actually. Excuse me. I'm also knitting on a test knit. I just have one for the moment. For she calls Garn Frun, Helene Olsson. I can't show it yet. Just tell you that I'm knitting on it. It's she has on her Instagram. She has photos of it. It's 2-plied. I will show you perhaps next time. I just have one sleeve left. I had one. I think I showed you last time that I started. I had a eller again. It's Swedish for or. Sorry. A Swedish designer who made mittens, but I have to. Anneli Verbrugge is her name. I had to tell her that I couldn't finish them because in December I had more ache in my fingers and wrists, so I sadly couldn't. It was too small for me. So for those who don't know, I have problem with ache and much more. But I don't like to say no when I promise to do something. But sadly, I had to. Sorry. I made a note here. I was outside. I should go buy some grocery, and I always have to go in. I have these big earphones to keep sounds away. And I see in the parking place that a woman talked to me, and I just, what? And she talked in English, and she asked me again, did you make that sweater? Yes, I did. Oh, I love it, she said. Thank you. So a nice response. I had this Strömsö koftan I had in some episodes ago. So I was so happy. I had also some days ago a childhood friend, Annette, called me. She lives in the north of Sweden, and so we don't see each other that often. I know she sews a lot, but she said, "Oh, I've started to knit on a sweater." So she needed some help. She knows how to knit, but she hasn't done it for some years. So she had problems with some in the chart. So I helped her over the phone. So it was so fun to hear, and her daughter had claimed it already. So she sent me a SMS the other day, show the finished garment and what she should knit on for herself now. She had a lovely comment. She said, it's so easy now with knits, because with to sew is like to have a sewing machine is like bringing the piano with you, but to have a knit is just like you take a guitar with you. If you go somewhere, you can't really bring the sewing machine. So it's true. I have a note here about a viewer, a Swedish one. She had such a bad memory from school about 60 years ago, that the teacher was not nice to her. So she hadn't knit for about 60 years. So she wrote about it. I can't find the comment yet on here on YouTube, but she also sent a photo on Instagram and told me that she actually started again to knit, and the first thing she did was a color work cardigan for a grandchild, and it was adorable. And at the same time, it hurts to read about it, because to have such a bad memory and how they could be, perhaps still can be, of course, some teachers, not nice to the little students. I mean, perhaps was she 7, 8 years or something like that. I don't know. And she had so many years a bad memory. But I'm glad she contacted me and showed her the photo, and that she can find happiness in this artwork, craft work, more with crochet or knit. I've talked about that several times. This with when you're like me, chronically ill, or those who are burned out, and everyone who just needs some relaxation. How good it is to knit or crochet also. It gives so much. It's so calming. It's amazing. It is. I have an idea, but I will take that in the end, and I will drink some water again. Sorry. I'm extra thirsty today. Sorry. I will talk about the designer Rebekka Mauser, Patsy.55 on Instagram. And in the end, I will have an idea I have. So I hope you will stick around to the end. I will show some photos of what I made for test knitted for Rebekka, and then, as I said, you can look at hers on Ravelry or Instagram. I asked her if she remembered when she first started to think about being a designer, and she said, "My mother is a passionate knitter and taught me to knit when I was 6 years old. My first knitted garment was a vest for my daycare's baby, 2 rectangles in garter stitch with color blocking in purple, turquoise and green, and openings for the heads and arms. In principle, this vest is the very first design I ever made. Well, almost, because my mother finished knitting the vest for me and closed the seams. As a teenager, I knitted now and then, rather freestyle and without pattern. The result were not very good and rather a bit strange. When I got to know Ravelry, a whole new world of knitting opened up for me, and to my surprise, I found English patterns much easier to understand and implement than German ones. Sorry. I started designing in early 2016 when Jana, the then owner of Frida Fuchs Yarn in Berlin, saw pictures of my finished knitting projects on Instagram and liked my way of combining colors. She asked me if I would like to create my own design and sent me a big box of her hand-dyed yarn. I'm still very grateful to her today for pushing me in that direction. Sorry, again? I asked also, how did you learn how to make all the different sizes for pattern? Besides the experience I have made from knitting other designers' patterns, I have read a few reference books explaining the different types of construction. Furthermore, I have a lot to do with Excel in my day job. Therefore, it was easy for me to do the necessary conversion calculations for the different sizes in Excel. I also asked her, how do you get inspiration for a new design? I live in a very big and multicultural city where there is always something to discover. I like going to art exhibitions or sitting in the cafe and watching the diverse people walking past the window. Inspiration is everywhere. I ask, what do you prefer to knit on yourself? The designs I create, I also wear myself. Lately, however, I've noticed that I'm missing a few plain single-colored pieces in my wardrobe that go with everything. So a few months ago, I knitted myself a dark grey cardigan and a dusty pink sweater, plain stockinette stitch without any special features, both of which I love to wear. A light grey cardigan will follow. I ask, do you have a favorite yarn or quality? I've used Snefnug by Camaros several times recently, and this yarn has become my favorite yarn for thick, cozy yet lightweight garments. However, I generally prefer to knit with thinner yarns and especially hand-dyed sock yarn. For example, Remi Demi by Frida Fuchs yarn. I can't have enough in my stash. I also asked, if you meet someone who never knitted from your design before, what would you like to say to promote yourself? I love stitch patterns that are easy to work but get a huge effect. Slip stitches are great for this, for example. At first glance, it usually seems much more complicated than it actually is to work. My pattern instructions are very detailed and well structured. Even people who do not have so much experience usually get along well with it. And then I asked her to tell her something about herself more. She said I live with my family in Berlin, in Germany. Knitting is my favorite hobby and for me the perfect break from my day job and the challenges of family life. So if you are watching, Rebekka, vielen Dank für dieses. I'm so grateful for it. So that was the designer for this month. I hope you enjoyed it and will enjoy her patterns. She has so much fun patterns. They really are. I will go back here. I will have some water again. Sorry again. I don't understand why I'm so thirsty today. My idea. I saw I don't know if it's American or Canadian crochet designer, but she this morning, and she said she will start to make a temperature blanket. So I'm thinking to do that also. I never had plans in this channel to make some knit or crochet along, but if someone of you would like to join, I would be glad for that. I said also in the Swedish, but I haven't thought about it at all, and perhaps if someone more than me will do this, we could have a hashtag. So if I have thought about it, I will just write it here. I will just have it then on Instagram. And I haven't thought about it really, but you can just Google temperature blankets, and then you have how much, so much of it. You can make, if you crochet, you can just perhaps make what is called granny, not granny squares, but granny stripes. or whatever. So for every day, if you don't know what it is, for every day you check the temperature outside, and you have a color for that temperature. As perhaps we have Celsius here, so perhaps if I say from 0 to 10 degrees plus, I could have this, will say white. For minus 1 to 10, perhaps I will have this one. One plant is I will have actually this from Tina's, as, and then I can just put in some more colors. But I don't know, you can have as much colors you want, and you can have perhaps just 2-3 degrees difference, or 10 or more, depending on how much color you like. Or choose if you just have leftover yarns, and we say this one is, I'm out of it, and then I can have perhaps another. Here is, I have Rauma Final, perhaps I can take that one instead. It's just fantasy. So I'm thinking actually to knit one and crochet another, because it's just one stripe a day the whole year. And I'm sorry, this is in the last minute, but when it's just one stripe, you can, if you are behind, you can easily make perhaps 2-3 or more one day, depending on how wide you will make it. You can make whatever you like. If you like stripes, or make granny squares, perhaps a color a day, I mean a square a day, perhaps. Or if you don't want to have this big, it will be a big cozy 365 stripes, you know, and then you can make perhaps something around. It will be something amazing in a year. Or perhaps if you rather like to make 2 or 3 instead, and have you have perhaps for each season. It's also an idea. For each season, spring, summer, autumn and winter. Also an idea. Anyhow, you don't know how it will be, and everyone's will look totally different depending on what colors you will have. Someday you perhaps have 10, 20 stripes of this, and 1 of this, and 25 of this. I don't know. We'll see at the end of the year. So if someone like to follow me on that, you are so welcome. I will just have some more. We have this Swedish company also, Järbo, and I have some. So one of the blankets I will actually make, oh, sorry for the noise, have these. This is the natural white, and this is caramel. But they have some lovely colors. So I will order some of this. Also other colors. I haven't decided yet, because it was an idea I had today, so I haven't thought about it so much. But I have some, I'm in a flow of, I like to make blankets. I have it downstairs with my husband. I'm making in this Alpe, just this, like this memory blankets, but they are bigger. So I'm thinking of stopping this now, perhaps just making a smaller one, and use this yarn for instead for the temperature blanket. So this is one blanket I'm making, and then I have something more. I'm knitting in. This is just to relax and knit, just on straight needles, short straight needles, and I have some cakes of Loulou, some different colors. So I'm making, I've shown it before, but I can show how far I came. I'm making, just take one new color. Yeah, I'm making them in the same size. Sorry, I lost it, one of them. Here, I have made two. And then I will just sew them together in the end. I make it, so I have 7 on the length, and then I don't know how wide I will make them, but it's so fun. It's addictive. It's the least you can say. So addictive. And I want blankets all over. I have a couple downstairs. I have here on my bed, on our bed, and good for gifts also. So I will make 2. I will. And also here in, it will be and for another here in Sweden. Many of you know her, Kia's Bod. She will start a blanket made from squares, different every month, that connect podcasters here in Sweden. So it will be a podcaster who makes them for each month, and everyone, whoever wants can join. So that will be exciting also. What will it be from month to month, you don't know. Guess what? I'm thirsty again. Sorry. I hope that the sound is good. I see now I forgot to... the microphone is here. So I'm sorry for that also. Anyhow, this was what I had to talk about now in December. I actually made this now for 6 months. So I'm so happy for you who have been here, for those who are subscribed. I'm so subscribing. I am so happy. So please, if you know someone who wants to listen to a bad English talker here in Sweden, please spread the word. I'm happy if more will see follow me, of course. But I'm so happy for you all who are returning viewers and new ones. So thank you again for being here, for watching and commenting. And we'll see each other in January, in a couple of weeks or so. And I wish you the best. Have the best time. Bye.